Hi, Sean. Welcome. Welcome to the Algoma University Professor Spotlight. I'm so excited to have you featured today to speak a little bit more about the Bachelor's of Arts in Community, Economic, and Social Development. So I'll start with introducing myself. My name is Taylor Nicey. I'm an enrollment specialist at the Brampton campus specifically. So I'll pass it over to you to introduce yourself to our viewers, specifically prospective students, future students that are interested in the program.
Well, thank you so much, Taylor, and thank you for thinking of me and for profiling the CESD program. It's a real pleasure to be speaking with you. My name is Sean Meades. I am a lecturer in the Department of Community, Economic, and Social Development, and I'm also the director of NORDIK Institute, which is a community-based research group that grew out of the CESD program in its initial stages back in the early 2000s. I have been with the program since, on and off since 2014, and more on a more permanent basis over the last 3 years.
Nice. Okay. That's really exciting. It's nice to hear that you're involved in like so many different aspects of the program and of the university. Do you have a favorite class that you instruct at Algoma?
Oh, absolutely. My favorite class is called CESD 3016, Global Local Relations, Critical Perspectives. So this class is by far my favorite because we get to delve into those interconnections between the larger trends and economic and philosophical and social processes that are happening around the globe, how they impact us in smaller local communities, whether in Northern Ontario or in other parts of the world, but also in how what we do in our own communities impacts that larger global scale. And so it's a really fun introduction or fun exploration of those interconnections, and also how we can mobilize to create change as well.
Is this is this a class that you take in your first year, second year,
It's in the third year.
third year? Okay.
And it's required course for both the BA in Community Economic and Social Development and the Community Development program.
Okay, cool. That's nice. Could you speak just like out of my pure interest, a little bit more about like in first and second year, or maybe more specifically first year, the type of courses that you take, and then the classes, like the courses that you take later on when you more specialize into a certain area?
Absolutely. So the program really begins with, we have two introductory courses, Introduction to Community Economic and Social Development 1 and 2. And they begin by exploring some of the dynamics of community development as a field, about the conditions that shape our experiences of community, that um, also impact social and economic relations within those spheres as well. So um, uh, one of those classes also really focuses on um, uh, concepts like allyship. How do we work together to counter um, um, these types of forces like sexism or
Mm.
racism and ableism, these sorts of structures that disadvantage so many members of our communities, and how can we be good allies to one another through those
Mm.
processes too. And so from there, I mean, generally in the first year, you would also probably be trying to finish up your humanities and your science elective requirements and those sorts of things. But then in the second year, you would move on to courses like environment and community resilience that builds on some of those core concepts that we explore in the first year, connected to our broader understanding of the environments in which we live, and the social and cultural context in which we find ourselves. And of course, there's things like community engagement and strategic planning, which is incredibly useful skills about how we go into the community and start organizing, how we can create plans to achieve common goals. And we also have a community-based research methods course, and a finance and accounting course in the CESD program as well, that give you the tools to really be an effective advocate and agent of change when you're coming out of university. And then in the third year, you move on to, again, delving deeper, as one does in upper years, deeper into the sort of historical and philosophical, theoretical elements, like through the global local relations class. But we also delve deeper into the practical side of things too, with the CESD 3017 practicum course, where you'll actually have to complete 150 hours of placement with a community organization at whichever campus that you're starting from.
That actually transitions nicely into my next question to ask about what types of careers come from this degree. So I'm assuming that a lot of students would also potentially get connections at least, or maybe jobs from these placements that they have to do in their third and fourth year.
Absolutely, and the field of community development is diverse, and there's so many opportunities. Yes, there are jobs that have the community developer title or the community economic developer title, and this program prepares you for to enter into those fields. But it's also a skill set that's necessary and useful for jobs throughout a wide variety of sectors, whether it's with not-for-profit organizations, with development organizations, with municipal or other types of local government, because it really provides you that foundation for understanding community organizing, how to work with diverse groups of people, how policy is important and how to craft policy and navigate that in a way that's relevant for folks at a very local scale. So there's a number of different types of, whether it's in social services or whether it's in government. There's a wide variety of areas where this degree is really going to prepare you well. But we also have a professional designation through the Council for the Advancement of Native Development Officers that you can pursue through the program that will actually get you the first level designation, which is the Technician in Aboriginal Economic Development, which many First Nations actually require for hiring their economic development officers.
Okay, nice. So then after they finish the degree, then they could go on to get their certificate?
They would already have it.
They would already have it, okay.
It's provided they take the courses that are necessary for that. There's a couple extra ones, but yeah.
Oh, that's really cool then. Yeah, you graduate with both.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for students that are considering this degree? Maybe they've never heard of it, especially because it's so unique to Algoma, and they're on the fence about it. What advice you would give them?
Well, there's advice that I can give in terms of how to be successful, and then there's advice that I can give in terms of like why you should come here. So let me start with the first, and that's get involved within the community. This is in this program you have lots of opportunities to get connected with different groups, that whether it's voluntary associations or, like I said, social services or charities or these groups, that service clubs, different types of organizations that are mobilizing to make change in our communities in positive ways. And that, especially if you're coming from outside of the community, this is also a great way to build your own personal network, both personal and professional, and to create opportunities for employment later on. But it's also one of the most fulfilling aspects of the student experience that we hear constantly from people, is that the doors that open for students when they became engaged changed their lives in really important ways. Now, of course, the life of a student is not without challenges. It's hard to balance that with, keeping up with your readings and doing your assignments and doing all these things. Like any professor, I'm going to say, do your readings. Absolutely, they're so important. But also, take advantage of the opportunities to chat with your professors, whether it's to drop in during office hours or to, chat after class or during class, especially during class. Um, because one of the things that I think folks um, don't necessarily, sometimes people are timid about sharing their ideas or their thought processes, but that's why we're here. This is the stuff we love. We love talking to students about whatever their thought process are about some of the things that we're exploring. We're not inconvenienced by you. We are here for you. This is why we're here. So take advantage of those opportunities.
And I,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, I definitely feel like coming from a small university too, you get more of those opportunities. So
Absolutely.
coming to Algoma, you got to take advantage. The professors are just begging you to chat with them.
Absolutely.
And they got the time. Yeah.
I mean, it's the joy of working at Algoma University is we get to have a learning community in a way that you just don't get that at an undergraduate university anywhere else.
Would you say that's why you enjoy instructing at Algoma the most?
Oh, absolutely. It's the relationship with our students, the relationship with my colleagues. We are, particularly within this program, of course, we're focused on community development in the way of, how do we work within our communities to affect positive change. But on a broader scale within the university, of course, we're all motivated by curiosity, by the desire to know more, to dig deeper, and to explore these topics of interest, and to do so in a way that's collaborative and supportive of one another. When you come to Algoma, you're you know yes, you're a student, but you're also developing colleagues. Um, in terms of our program and why you should be coming to Algoma for this program, well, I feel like we really embody all those great things that Algoma has to offer. You get um, uh, the connections to work integrated learning. We paved the way in terms of experiential learning within the history of the school. You have cross-cultural learning opportunities and dialogue, because of course this is central to the type of work that we do. Um, and a big function of our interaction with students, as professors within the program, is helping them to harness the power of collective organizing. So many of um, the amazing student initiatives that have come from Algoma, that have emerged at Algoma University, things like the community garden, things like the Algoma University Food Bank, or the food pantry, and many other different types of opportunities are because students got together and started organizing around these things. And a lot of them were CESD students. I mean, I don't want to take all the credit, but CESD students definitely stepped
They're the
up.
change makers, right?
Absolutely.
So obviously they're going to get involved on campus.
Absolutely. So, the things that they've done have been incredible. Everything from those things that I mentioned to, there's been 2 or 3 like knowledge exchange trips to Colombia and Ecuador, looking at whether it's the community development processes in those places, or in the case of Colombia, work that one of my colleagues is doing there related to the peace process. And all of these have dimensions of community development, of course, embedded within their core.
Yeah, I really see that with it. Like, you could go a lot of places with this degree, depending on how you want to take it. I think that kind of answers my last question, which was, how do you bring the thunder, and like what makes your program at Algoma so special? You gave so many great examples there. I can imagine that your students love you as an instructor and love the program that they're getting. It was really nice chatting with you today and learning a little bit more about the community and economic social development program.
Oh, thank you so much. And just so to double back on that question,
Yeah.
the um, we see the university's mission of that cross-cultural education as being core to our mission as well. Um, you know, the we grew out of a response to the needs that were expressed by Indigenous communities, to support community development efforts within First Nation communities, Métis communities across the North. And we have this beautiful cross-cultural, engaged work program that has work integrated learning and placement opportunities, and opportunities for students to really um, get comfortable as comfortable in their skin as change makers, and gain that confidence to go out into the world and shake things up.
Yeah, and I love that. We need more people like that, 100%.
Well, thank you so
So,
much for your time, Taylor.
yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. This was a fantastic Professor Spotlight, and I hope to meet you one day in person. This is really nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.